Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now I'll be covering the Jekyll and Hyde 9-hole cup rookie division. This is going to be our final round walkthrough. You'll see quite a few shots dropped during these replays, so I hope that you do find it helpful. If you do, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button, and secondly, subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber already. Congrats for making it to the final round. Here we go. Hole number one, now we do have tailwind. We could go with the berserker shot if you wanted to, with the big topper where we try to drive down to the bottom part of the green and fairway area. The only problem was I practiced it a few times and I kept getting stuck in the rough. So with it being a 9-hole cup, I didn't want to waste any more berserkers in practice and any more tokens. So I went ahead and just played the standard shot, which is a pretty easy shot to drive. And then the second shot we take with our wedge. So the first shot is going to be played 10% at max. We do go 6 bars of topspin if you have it, 3 bars of side spin to the left. Of course, if you have an extra mile 7 or lower, you're going to go 4.5. If you have an extra mile 9, just keep yourself at 6. That is all that you need. We're going to be aiming with our ball guideline over the second bush, our yellow ring at the rough. And then after we pull our rings and we take our shot, we're going to be using a little bit of left curl. We have to keep in mind that this fairway has a pretty nasty slope from left to right. So we need to make sure that we utilize the full side spin of the katana and that we also add a little bit of left curl to the shot. You'll see here that when we do that, we come very nicely down the middle of the fairway and then we start rolling to the right-hand side. Now, shot number 2, I did mess up the graphic. This is not 20% at max. This is supposed to say 0% at max. I played this one, again, 0% at max. I got the ball guideline aiming to the hole. This will be a no spin adjustment, just making sure the ball bounces into the hole like that. And again, 0% at max. You're going to see here that 3.9 miles per hour. I believe I pulled it somewhere around 2.7, 2.8 rings. Which if you do the math, again, with my club level and the wind, that's going to be 0%. Perfect ball did drop very nicely into the hole for number 1 eagle. This will take us to hole number 2. Hole number 2, the shot that you're going to see me play is being played at 45% at max. I do want you to try to play at 60% at max with your backbone. You might say, wow, that's a lot of elevation, that's a lot of pull. Not really. When you mess around with the app on a backbone, there's not a whole lot of different ring pulls when it comes to higher elevation or lower elevation. The decimal points are pretty small on this club, so just keep that in mind. Here, you're going to see exactly how I'm aiming. This will be pretty easy to follow. I do apply the spin first. So you see here about 1.9 back. And then you're going to notice here, I've got where my blue ring is. My blue ring is right there on the rough line. And then what I'm really looking at is my second and third bounce, which I'll show you right here. Do you see my second bounce is on that dark green square right above the fringe? So it's right there in the corner bottom part of that dark green square. And then the same thing with my third bounce. Or not my third bounce, that is my third bounce, I'm sorry. It's in the bottom corner of the other dark green square, more towards the pin. So just notice I've got the blue ring on the rough, and then both of my bounces after that are in the bottom parts of those dark green squares. Like I said here, I pulled this one 45%. I do want you to try to pull it at 60. You'll see here that even with a 45% pull and only 2.2 mile per hour wind, keep that in mind. That's the absolute lowest we're going to get with a navigator in rookie. We're still being pushed to the right-hand side, so we just need to counter that by pulling more rings to the left. Hole number 3, we're going to play 10% at max. Again, this is going to be with a Titan, just like in qualifying. 6 top, 2 bars of side spin to the left. Extra mile 9 players do not play with full top. Anybody else, of course, go 4.5 top and use a little bit more overpower to get to the second fairway up here. You're going to notice I put half of my red ring in the rough, half of it on the fairway, and then I pull to take my shot. A little bit of OP, a little bit of left curl, Again, lower level extra mile players will have to use a little bit more OP. But you can see here that we have plenty of distance, pretty easy drive to get after. That'll leave us with shot number 2. Shot number 2, I do leave this one right at the pin. We're going to play at minus 15%, so we're playing this one uphill. This will be minus 15%. You notice I'm spinning until the ball guide line is through the hole. So here I have 3.9 bars of topspin. Ball guide line pointing to the back of the cup and through the back of the cup just a little bit. But it wasn't enough. We do need to go with 4 bars to 4.2 bars. You can see here that, again, this is only 2.2 mile per hour wind. So this time this one hurt me. You know, if this would have been a little bit of a higher wind, then I could have got a little bit more push coming out of this rough to get the ball to the hole. But, you know, here I just die. I mean, that one's a little bit frustrating. The elevation looks good. We need to come in just a little bit faster to get that one to drop. So hole number 3 gives you a great chance for the albatross. Hole number 4, we're going to play 15% at mid. This is 4 miles an hour. This is a little bit on the higher end scale with the navigator. So here you see I set my spins first, and then I am looking for a specific landing spot with my ball guideline here. You're going to notice that I'm playing between the dark green and the light green vertical rows to the left of the pin. So you see how I'm aiming right down the middle where the light green and the dark green squares touch. And then you can see I'm aiming, you know, on the second light green square below the pin as well, at the very end of my ball guide line. Here I needed to move this over just a fraction based off a miss with my other account. So that gives you a really good visual of where I'm aiming on this hole. The only thing that happens here, which isn't too big of a deal, is I make my pull, which is 15% at mid, which is just 1-to-1, essentially, with a P1 ball. I almost got caught in between clubs, but it was okay. I was still able to make pretty much the correct adjustment. And here, again, you know, we lose just a little bit of steam and we start to veer towards the left-hand side. Hole number 4 is very close. Just take a little bit of the backspin off, and then you should be good to go on that one. Taking a little bit more of the backspin off will get the ball to come in faster. It won't have as much time to also veer to the left-hand side. That's all that I would change on hole number 4. Hole number 5, we're going to be getting basically a direct headwind shot when we move to our landing spot. So we're going to go 6 top, 3 bars of side spin to the left. There is no elevation on this shot. This is just me simply picking a spot, aiming and shooting because we're getting almost perfect headwind. So when I push my club up to max like this, I have my blue ring right there on the rough line. That was my reference point. So when I push up to max, after I set my spin, to make sure that my second part on my ball guide line up there is on that second fairway, then my blue ring is right there touching the rough line. Then I go with my shot full OP, half a ball of curl to the left, a little bit more than half a ball of curl to the left. Here we do try to hit perfect. We hit a minor great left, and that's going to be okay. We still catch the fairway to fairway, and then we roll out. Looking very nice as far as this drive goes. If you'd like to make that shot easier, you could definitely go with a power 4 or a power 5 ball for sure. Here, we're going to play this one 10% at mid. Do get the ball to drop. We're going to go 1 bar of backspin, and then, of course, with our thorn, we always make sure the ball guide line is going past the back part of the cup. You'll see here we get a perfect ball, and we do get this one to find its way home. Hits the pin dead center for the eagle there on number 5. That'll take us here to hole number 6. Hole number 6, we're going to go with a no moving target, 10% at max. 6 top, 2 bars of side spin to the right. We don't move our target until it's time to adjust our elevation. We just apply our spin as soon as the game gets started. Then we make our pull, then we take our shot. Again, same thing here when it comes to extra mile players. If you have an extra mile level 9, do not go full top. We don't want to get too much of this drive, or else you're going to have to be taking shot number 2 with a long iron, which in my opinion just does not play that well. We'd rather go ahead and play this shot with the sniper. Now when it comes to the sniper shot, you're going to see here that I played at 25% at max. And it's really about just finding a good landing spot. Two and a half mile per hour wind is pretty low. But I did go ahead and decide to play it at max just because of the tailwind push. Here, after I finally get my spins applied, you'll see where I aim. I aim just to the right-hand side of the hole, a little bit of offset there, and leaving my ball guideline short, hoping that the tailwind will push me into the hole. Perfect ball. And you'll see that the speed is really nice. We just burned the right edge of the cup there. If we didn't move that one over just a fraction to the left-hand side, we could have been looking at an albatross, which is a tough one in my opinion on number 6. Here we're going to go with 5% at mid with the navigator ball. This is the highest wind that we're going to get. Well, almost. 4.5 is the highest wind we can get. But we're going to go here just a little bit over 3 bars of backspin. We're going to call that 3.2. I put my green inner ring on the top of the rough there, ball guideline pointing to the pin. I flip the camera around this way because it is much easier to push your rings when you're pushing into the sand like that than it is to pull into the sand, because your rings will get really distorted and kind of wonky on you. But here I do recommend that you push them. We hit a perfect ball, and the speed comes in very nicely and drops in the center of the cup for a hole-in-one on hole number 7. Definitely the easiest hole-in-one on a lot of courses in the game to pick up. Hole number 8, 10% at max, and then push to max. Here, we're going to go, again, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and I'm only going with 4.5 top. You can see I'm aiming in the bottom left-hand corner of this fairway. I make my ring pull. I push back up to max. I'm going to use some OP. And again, a little bit more than half a ball or curl to the left. I was able to fire off a perfect ball here. And then we will go from one fairway to the next fairway. We roll up very nicely. Going to leave us for a very high elevated shot for shot number 2. But it is a ball that I do get to drop. So we're going to go 25% at mid. You're going to see here I go with about 1.5 bars of backspin, I believe. And then here, I'm just kind of checking my distance, but I just make sure that those bounces right there are bouncing into the cup. You know, you don't want to leave it short on a club like this. So you see there, got a nice bounce going into the center of the cup. Very difficult to pull your rings accurately on this club, on that kind of camera angle or from that high or whatever it is, but got it right somehow, and the ball falls in there for an eagle, taking us on to hole number 9. Again, this is a drive in which I'm not using any elevation. This is basically a direct headwind shot, so I'm just making sure that I've got my target centered up on that little fairway there, going with some OP, a little bit of curl to the right. And then we come in really nicely here as well, getting us down to a 30% shot for shot number 2. So we're going to play this one 30% at mid. You're going to notice here I apply my backspin first. 4 back. And you're going to see here the ball guideline aiming right through the middle of the hole and beyond the pin. Important to leave it through the pin, especially in this headwind angle here. But again, this is played 30%. Perfect ball. And we do come very close to getting this one into the hole. Again, just burning the right side edge of the cup. So maybe we add just a click of side spin to that shot, or just go ahead and move the shot over to the left. Kind of let you decide it on that one. But that is it. I will see you all on Monday for the next round of tournaments. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. Thanks, everybody.